Hello my scrappy friends, and a big welcome to my channel again today. Day 24, and I have a little bit of a colour wheel lesson for you. And I'm actually really excited that I've finally got around to doing this, and I really hope that you enjoy. I'm going to say this up front. If you have any questions, if something I say doesn't make any sense, please leave me a question, leave me a comment. I will do my best to make it make sense, to rephrase it so that it's not confusing. Firstly, I'm working with my Distress Oxide inks and 3 different blender brushes. And you can see I'm just adding a coat of colour to my smooth, white, thick cardstock here. There is no gesso on here. And I've just penciled in a circle with the dissecting lines on it. I'm using Candied Apple for my red, Mustard Seed for my yellow, and Salty Ocean for my blue. So you can see I'm just adding a decent coat of this. The beautiful thing with the Distress Oxides is you can layer them up. So the first thing that I'm going to put onto this paper is my primary colours. There are 3 primary colours: red, yellow and blue. Now if you already know all this and this is like the gazillionth time that you've heard, I do apologise. If you are fairly new to understanding colour theory, then I really hope that this helps. So again, I'm just going in with my yellow here. But yes, 3 primary colours: red, yellow and blue. Our primary colours you cannot create. Yeah, I know that sounds kind of bizarre, but you can't create a blue or a yellow or a red. You do need to kind of have those. I don't know how they do them in factories for paints and inks and stuff, but they do. So from here, from our primary colours is where the rest of our colours come from. I know when I was learning about this, I was kind of like, wait, what? There's so much colour theory out there. It's interesting, it's overwhelming. You can take a lot in, you can take a little bit in, it can be overwhelming, but yes, if you don't want to make mud, understanding the basics of the colour wheel is definitely the first step. So that's what I'm here sharing. You can see in the middle of my circle here, some of those colours are starting to blend together. It's really obvious on the yellow and blue. You can start to see that green colour coming through. You can kind of see it on the red as well. The red and the blue, you can kind of see that purple. So these are our primary colours. From here, when you mix 2 primary colours together, you will get a secondary colour. Yeah, so primary and then secondary. All of our secondary colours and tertiary colours come from that's what I said. Our secondary and tertiary colours all come from these primary colours in some way, shape or form. You can't create these. You can add white, you can add black, and it will obviously lighten them or darken them. A really good way to add depth to a colour is to use what is called a complementary colour. And a complementary colour sits directly opposite a colour on the colour wheel. So what I'm doing here is I'm going back in with these same 3 colours and I'm going to create my secondary colours. Firstly, I'm going to fill in, so you can see that top half of the circle, those 3 pieces. I'm going back in with the Candied Apple and I'm just adding a layer of colour. It's going to be fairly smooth, but it doesn't need to be perfect because I am going to be doing some more blending of colours to obviously create my secondary colours. So this is the Candied Apple and I've gone to the left and to the right, and then I'm going to come back over the top on either side with other colours. So next colour is the Mustard Seed. I'm essentially going to colour half of the colour wheel again, but starting here. So straight away I add the yellow to the red and there's my orange. It's like magic, right? So I'm going to blend those 2 together till I get a fairly even colour and blend, and then I'm going to add the yellow down to the bottom triangle as well, so I've got my half of the colour wheel coloured. And you can also see there where that's overlapping with the blue that I'm really starting to get that green come through. white. Blending that out, and so I'm going to go down to the bottom here and create the base for my green. Alright, so as I do this, how much information do you have about the colour wheel? Do you find that you always accidentally make mud? Have you learned any colour theory before? Have you found some good resources? Give me some feedback. Let me know where you're at with the colour wheel and perhaps how helpful or not helpful this is. But yeah, if you are wanting to look at a new medium and you're not sure what colours to buy, I know that it's really easy to want all the colours. I'm definitely raising both my hands for that. But you know, especially if you're trying a new medium, you're not sure if you're going to like it, I would definitely recommend getting like a red, a yellow and a blue, because you can pretty much make most colours with that. From there, my next colours to add would be the white and the black. That way you can essentially make a whole rainbow. You can see I'm doing that here with just 3 colours. Obviously white, I think I said it before, this is the second time I'm doing this voiceover. White is going to lighten things up. You know, when you add white to red, you get pink. When you add white to orange, you get more of like a corally colour. Yeah. So when you add white to things, it is going to lighten them up. And obviously the black. And like I said before, adding that complementary colour. So in this case, you can see the red and the green are complementary colours. If you mix them together, if you add equal parts, you're going to get brown. But if you are, say, working with red and you want more depth to that colour, you could add like a little drop of red of the green, and it will give you more depth to that colour. That does take a bit of practice, a bit of playing. The more you do it, the more confident you'll get, the more you know what you can do with your mediums and that kind of stuff. But that is definitely something that you can do as well. Generally speaking too, those complementary colours directly across that colour wheel are going to work beautifully together for a colour scheme, for a card, for a scrapbook layout, for clothes, for home decor, anything like that. You know, the red and the green, I think most of us immediately think Christmas, so I'll pick a different colour. So like the blue and orange, they're complementary colours. They sit directly across each other on the colour wheel, but they work so well together and just create a beautiful colour scheme. If you are trying to come up with some sort of colour scheme as well, and you say you are using that blue and orange, you could add in one of the other primary colours would be a really great way to go. So from blue straight across you've got orange, and then if you picked one of the colours that sits next to that orange, so the red or the yellow, you would get a colour scheme that works really well together as well. Hopefully I'm not confusing you too much. But you can see I've just blended that whole, all of those colours all the way around. I'm just going to go back over and blend over the join lines a little bit more, because from here I want to demonstrate to you the tertiary colours, so that you can really kind of get an understanding of what they are. Your tertiary colours are where your primary colour and your secondary colour overlap. So where I'm working right now, the yellow and the green, that little tiny segment in between when those two colours overlap is our tertiary colour. So in this case, we're working, it's technically called yellow-green. Yeah, it's where you get your really like acidic lime greens from. And then, you know, going back the other way, if you're going towards where I am now, you get the blue-green. So you get your aquas and your teals, depending on which end of the, you know, which colour they sit closer to on the colour wheel, the green or the blue. So you can see all of that's blended out now, and you can really see all those different colours. They're all really well represented here. And I'm just writing here. Secondary colours, orange, green and purple. You can get these by mixing two primary colours together. Pretty simple, yeah? And like I said, then the next one that I'm going to show you is your tertiary colours. I'm going to point it out on, so just here, just point that out, that overlap there. That's called our tertiary colours. And I'm just going to write a little note about that for you. And then after that, I'm going to write the rainbow for you. But a little note here about the tertiary colours. When they are named, you will find that the primary colour is always the first name of the colour. So you've got red, orange, yellow, orange, yellow, green, blue, green, blue, violet, and red, violet. So they're all named with the primary colour as the first colour. I hope that makes sense. So if you're looking at like a lime green, you'd be looking at a yellow green. Does that make sense? Rather than a green? Yeah. All right. So, but yeah, they sit in that in-between space. This last thing that I'm showing you here is the rainbow order. Roijibiv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. If they were in a circle, the blue would blend into the red. Sorry, the violet would blend into the red. So you would get essentially exactly what I've got here. Yeah? Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I haven't confused you too much. And hopefully you've learned something. Yeah? If you have any questions or comments, please do leave them below. As always, thank you so much for stopping by. I've almost done a whole month. Thank you for your patience and have a fantastic scrappy day.